This is an interesting one. Sony puts out a video on their new TVs, X90H, XH90 series, and you'll see something very interesting in this clip as you let it play. Well, the TVs look awesome, obviously. Sound and picture and harmony. It's all very beautiful. There, pause it right there. Ready for PlayStation 5. So this is interesting. Is this a designation that's going to be on multiple TVs? Is it only Sony TVs? Can other TV manufacturers apply to be what would be considered ready? Optimized. Yeah. I remember in the early days of HD, they would say HD ready or 4K ready, I think came at some point after that. So ready for PlayStation 5 seems to indicate in the form of this video, this is my first exposure to it, 4K 120 FPS. That's pretty crazy for a large format display. Mm-hmm. Now there's a star there and your playhead is kind of covering up the fine print. The star goes down to the fine print. Oh. 4K 120 FPS game HDMI input based on, how dare you, Will? How dare you? Based on internal testing, conditions may differ in real-time usage. So they're putting a little thing in there, and then they also say it'll be available via future firmware update. So you're going to have to do this firmware update. You can probably buy the TV and then do the firmware update when the PS5 actually ships. And then the other one that I like, low input lag, 7.2 milliseconds. You never hear TV manufacturers talking about input lag, but it's this terrible thing that once you get a TV, you learn about real quick that some are just not good for gaming, large format displays, because input lag, just to explain it real quick, you have an input on your controller, and by the time it shows up on the screen, there's so much processing happening to that HDMI signal that it takes a second for you to see it. This can be so frustrating in a game. It can make a game unplayable, to be honest, or at least give you an inability to compete because you're seeing things later. This is often why many gamers, game enthusiasts, even those on consoles, will opt for a computer monitor with an HDMI input for their console, because computer monitors typically have less processing and therefore less lag because you got to use a mouse with it.
Yes.
7.2 milliseconds is really good for a large format display, HDR display, 4K display. This is, I guess, because of the 90. Is this a 90-inch display? I don't know how big it is, but it's going to be a big one. It's a big screen TV anyways. It's also going to have Android TV built in, and now it's got me all curious of what would be the optimal next generation console TV. And did Sony potentially just nail it through the combination of high frame rate, high resolution, and low input lag? I love it. I think it's lovely. I still like the game from the couch every so often. I want to relax every so often. Call me crazy.
Well, it's normal.
That's normal. Okay, I'm glad.